We are going into Game 3 right now, and the game is already live, so let's get right into it here at the WCS Season 1 Finals in Korea. MVP in game number 3 up against Alicia. Starting to the bottom right of the map, we have our LGIM player. He just announced that he's really hungry, so he better win that game or he will have to stick around a little bit longer. He is
LGIM MVP from Europe.
MVP up against the Protoss player. Starting to the top left of the map. In blue, it is
Axiom Malaysia from America.
And whoever wins this goes on to play tomorrow.
Exactly. Whoever wins this goes on tomorrow, and the loser, he is going up against either Ryang or Kang Ho. A very long group that we have here, a few technical difficulties belonging it a little bit further, and we are of course now just trying to determine the first person in this group that's able to advance to play tomorrow on day number 2 of the WCS Season 1 Finals.
And you mentioned it earlier, for anyone who's just tuning in a little bit later, we've had every single series 3 for 3 so far go to Game 3, and perhaps even the next 2 will do so as well.
Yeah, right now we have... Yeah, actually we could actually see that. Yeah, that's perfectly right. So we're currently in the winner's match. And as you can see in our overlay that just popped up on screen, we have a 1-1 situation now in the match. And here comes the gas for MVP, who played a great second game. Game number 2 brought him back into the series and forced this third game. In the first game, Alicia playing very well and defeating his opponent. So let's see what Alicia can do. It's his map choice. He chose this map.
And, you know, it's a map similar to Newkirk in a lot of ways. It's a good map for drops. It's a 2-player map. Relatively short rush distance, so wonder what he's got up his sleeve here. MVP gonna go out for a little bit of a scout here. A later gas coming down for him, so he's not doing a gas first or even a normally timed gas. It's kind of a later one, which means he can get his command center up with his factory. He could even go into a Reaper after his Marine. I don't think we'll see that, but he could.
Yeah, walking up the ramp now, trying to find out what exactly Alicia tried in the early game. The probe is now moving down and wants to drop that Nexus. Could have tried to block it a little bit, but is now in the main base. Here's the Nexus. At the same time, MVP goes into his standard reactor at the barracks.
Yep. And there goes the CC. Well, in just a few seconds. There it is.
CC on the low ground in this scenario, so that he doesn't have to lift it later on. He already knows that there's a very early Nexus for Alicia, so there's no problem running into a very aggressive early game strategy by Alicia trying to go into gateway pressure. We have the Mothership core out now, and of course this also means the end for the SCV and the scouting information. But of course, one of the things that he has to be careful about right now is that the Mothership core might try to get a few kills later on, or at least get the scouting information in the main base. It's already on the way to the bottom left, and will then just move on to the bottom right into the main base of MVP, who is currently going straight into the factory, as you would expect. And Alicia is using his own robotics before he heads into the additional gates. That will give him also the opportunity to get the observers out a little bit faster, get his tech out, and he knows that with the Mothership core and everything that he has on the map now, he can defend against early aggression just by using the photon overcharge and relying on the one gate.
Yeah, and MVP, he's been kind of doing this build a lot in this series, just loving to do his Widow Mine pressure. I don't see it doing very much damage since he was scouted early on, and as long as Alicia doesn't mess up his defense, he should be okay. He's going to double check here with the Stalker.
Oh, Stalker getting actually like very careless here, taking a lot of hits.
Yeah, it's almost as if he didn't expect that many Marines to be there. SCV here verifies the Nexus once more.
An early Forge for Alicia. He wants to play this over an upgrade lead. He goes into the double Forge of all things. So really not gateway heavy. I mean, one gateway is all that he has, and he's really relying totally on the photon overcharge with the Mothership core here. Going into this early double Forge means a lot of resources that you have to commit, not only to the structures itself, but of course you want to add those upgrades right away.
Needs to micro these Stalkers against the Marines.
Sees the Marines early on, so he doesn't take too many hits here. But we have the Widow Mine also on the move, and he will have to use the photon overcharge here. There's just no other choice.
Ooh, that was close. Almost losing a Stalker there.
Has the first observer now in the game, just chrono boosted it earlier. Second one is coming in, and now he should be able to pick off the Widow Mine.
And look at this, MVP tries to go around the right side, not able to do so, and goodbye Widowmine.
Yeah, Widowmine is gone, and of course now the Stalkers can move out. At the bottom right, we have MVP with his own engineering bay, but the double upgrades have been started for his Protoss opponent. Alicia now going into 1-1.
A little bit surprised we didn't see a chase there by Alicia, because the Stalker not only does it outrange the Marine, but also moves faster. He could have picked off maybe a Marine or two. It's as if he's scared there's a possible drop flying around, which is something definitely he could be concerned about.
And talking about the drops, we have, to counter them, 3 observers on the map, so a lot of scouting happening here for Alicia, and he can position his observers in a way that he will see incoming medivacs. And that's exactly what he does, and just in time, the medivac is heading over, and the observer just now taking position here, sees the medivac, he knows what's coming, and he can now move his units into the main base to defend against.
Looks like he even wants to try to trap. He sets not his Stalkers on the edge, but waits, and now he's going to go and intercept. MVP, though, too smart for it, flies away.
Yeah, MVP spots it. And Alicia, he wants to go for that +2/+2. He immediately adds his own Twilight Counselor, will be able to add those upgrades once that the first wave is done. And if he really uses his chrono boosts well to achieve this, then we will have a huge lead in upgrades for Alicia compared to MVP. The Terran player still without a second engineering bay, just halfway done with +1 attack.
Yeah, and the drop almost getting taken out here again if you haven't used one more boost. He's in a position now where his drops have done very little, but because he keeps it alive, it's not like he's behind. The upgrades are going to be the biggest problem for him. This was the problem for him in Game 2. Still, it was able to come through with really good micro and good engages, but the upgrades so important.
And we have a scan, a really interesting one, not revealing too much, but Alicia is going into Archons and Charge Lots. He already has the Templar Archive, he's adding the additional gates now, and this is really powerful. Of course, the more upgrades you have for these units, the stronger the attack in the end will be, and here's +2/+2 immediately. This could line up to be an attack that MVP will struggle very much to defend against.
Yeah, it depends on how much Alicia commits, and with all these gateways he's adding, it looks like he's going to commit quite a lot.
He's going to go out on this.
He's going all out. He has the Warp Prism as well to go forward here.
And with the Warp Prism up to the point where he has the +2/+2, he can do a lot.
Nice feedback.
But what did he actually spot? He saw everything. He should know what's coming here.
He starts his second eBay in the armory, but he needs to start some bunkers as well, potentially.
Yeah, he needs to really set up a good defense here. And I would love to see him go into the Ghost Academy now that he spotted the Templar Archive.
If he moves out here and the Warp Prism comes in, he can warp in 7, 8 Zealots and do some nasty things. I mean, the charge is going to be done as well. Oh, wow, this could be horrible.
We are not talking about the good kind of nasty here. He's moving in with a Warp Prism, warping in the first set of units on the low ground. Is going to lift it into the main base and then warping in once more. We still don't have anything that could counter those High Templars. There is no Ghost Academy.
He's going to wait for another round of Zealots, so it's going to be even more... Well, he doesn't wait, but he has Storm almost ready. He's got a lot of energy on this Templar, and MVP caught with his pants down here. And with another round of Zealot warp-ins, the units he sent back home are not going to be enough.
Yeah, Storm is now target completed.
He doesn't target combat shields. He could have tried to target there.
Yeah, but with the units streaming in, unlikely they would have gotten it, but worth a shot. Third base coming up now for Alicia, +2/+2, nearly complete. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he doesn't... Well, what is that Warp Prism doing there, Will?
Well, dying.
Yeah, I guess, but that was odd. That shouldn't have happened.
I think he thought he sent it away already.
Yeah, he probably misclicked. He thought he went for a right click, but now he has to rebuild it. But this is now attack number 1 coming in, trying to apply some pressure. He's actually not going to fully commit to this. He has the third base, so a lot of resources now going into the third. I feel with an attack at this point, with 2 upgrades, nothing to counter those High Templars and Storms and the Archons later on, he could have actually done that.
He's going to pressure a little bit here again. That could have been really, really crazy what we almost saw. He could actually still Storm if the 5 units try to run in here. He could also go for some feedbacks. I think Storm is probably the much better choice in this case.
Yeah, he's really trying to bait those in, and there's the first Storm killing one of the Marines, but the Zealots don't take down the Rogues just yet. But as it is, we have Alicia with a really huge lead in overall upgrades. He's on 2-2 against the second attack upgrade that's just now being researched for MVP. But the Protoss player also adding the extra tech, going into Colossi, researching the range upgrade. The
Ghosts are out, don't forget.
Question now rather being how exactly Alicia is going to plan to attack, what his modus operandi is going to be later on.
That Viking, he certainly has a plan. He's going to follow his orders of kill all Warp Prisms, and he's already in the perfect spot to spot this.
+3 attack has been started here. Not going into the armor upgrade just now. Alicia and MVP. MVP is taking a supply lead here with like 30 supply. That dropship, the Warp Prism, could do a lot, but we have this medivac that was also spotted to the left side, so let's see if MVP can return the favor.
He's going to engage in the middle of the map. Meanwhile,
third base is completely abandoned. There's nothing to defend it. They are occupied in the middle of the map, and here come those drops. The cannons, nice feedback. The cannons saving the base for now.
The Vikings find the Warp Prism, take it out. It does die off screen. A few Zealots cleaned up down there as well. Hellbat gets sniped, and this is a really close game right now. The upgrades are the biggest deal here, and MVP wants to wait for +2.
It was really important that he didn't see it, that he didn't kill the High Templars. You need those later on for the Storms. +3, both on the way now. Range upgrade for the Colossi is done. Alicia has less army, but his army is stronger thanks to the upgrade and the added tech.
Yeah, the tech really going to be a problem here. MVP does have some ghosts. It's all about how he uses them, though. You know, missed EMPs or lack of a snipes or even feedbacks going off on the ghosts are going to be tragic for him.
On 3 bases, Alicia decides to add a lot of production. He really wants to be able to replenish his army immediately after the fight. Here we go, feedback, storms and snipes going off. The battle between Ghosts and High Templar.
I have to say, it was fairly poor control by MVP. Not only did he lose all of his ghosts, but he walked into the storm afterwards.
Yeah, Alicia sent his Ghostbusters down, and with the feedbacks, those guys didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Once again, bit of a flank here, trying to set it up. Did Alicia actually see that the storm is really good to the right side, but we still have those few units to the left, and Alicia might have missed them, and then he could be completely blindsided.
Oh, he's going for that flank as you mentioned, right as you speak, and decent
Those
storms here.
Really good storms. Oh my god, MVP has to be careful. He's dropping his supply
right into
fast.
He's the guy who, hurricanes come and he's not leaving town, even though he was told, you know, by the government that would probably be a good idea.
Well, both of those guys are at 3 bases, but keep in mind that +3 is going to be done in just a few seconds, and Alicia seems to be very determined to move out with that upgrade lead that he has. Is he actually going to take a 4th base to the left side?
It looks like it. You know, he certainly can. He can afford it.
Takes the 4th here. Very drawn out game that we have between the two of them. A little bit different than game number 1 and 2 that we saw so far.
Yeah. More ghosts rallying out here. +3 getting closer and closer for MVP. But he doesn't have the armor upgrade started, which means the Colossi are just going to rip through everything, especially the Vikings with no plating. And MVP wants to take the space to the right side, but I just don't see that. I don't find that to be a reasonable choice right now of action. I mean, he's got to do something, but I think he should fight this army first. Here we go. Are the EMPs good? So far, they haven't happened.
Yeah, we'll move again. Once again, the Guardian Shield is active. EMP so far, we haven't seen too many of them. The upgrade advantage for Alicia is really strong, but MVP, given time, will catch up. He's going into Personal Cloaking. The +3 tech upgrade is nearly completed. Shields coming up for Alicia. Blink as well. But he has such a strong army, both of them being maxed out here. It's just the bank that Alicia now wants to build up. He knows that his production will win out the game eventually if he can pull it off.
Yep. The rocks are dead. He worked on those earlier. Cannot go into the choke point against MVP, so that choke point is always going to be a point of contention. Whoever's on the other side of it will have the advantage, and this could be Alicia's moment. He's got his army together. MVP a little bit out of position here. Great storm on those Vikings.
Storm's really decent. And talking about the production earlier, we have Alicia adding additional gates. He wants to have as many gateways as possible so that he can replenish his army. He has a pylon a little bit further to the left.
Good EMPs though.
MVP is trying to engage again. The Mothership core is gone. The storms are decent, but there are not enough of them. Another one hits home, but the army is huge for MVP.
He's got so many Marauders. The hit points on his units are really, really high here. The Colossi not able to push this back. He's trying to split here.
There's nothing to shield them anymore. The storms are all gone. He cannot really retreat that. He's trying to warp in additional units to just provide a bit of a meat shield against his opponent's bioforces. The DPS for MVP is just crazy. Army supply now still in favor of the Terran player.
Yep, and Alicia though has damaged so many of these units. With a few good hits on those Colossi, he could definitely finish the game. A few more Archons coming through, and Alicia now has the maxed out army. He's got the advantage here with all those low hit points against the Medivacs, all of energy as well. Could he finish the game now? He's going for it.
He's trying, his production is great, and he's using it. The Zealots are charging in, taking down all of the ghosts. Most of the Bioforce are gone. The storms are great, but all those Vikings take down one Colossus after another.
No more anti-air left, except that one Archon. But the thing is, he's losing all his bio regardless. GG! And Alicia, the first player to advance from Group B.
outproducing his opponent completely after the fights here. And we have now the Terran player dropping down into the consolation match. Alicia takes the third game in the best of 3 and advances now to the next stage of the tournament tomorrow. The first player to advance out of Group B.
Yeah,